Alright guys, Papa Pepper coming to you once again from my natural environment, the garden out here. So behind me, I've got a raised bed I did, and it doesn't look very raised at the moment. What we've done is we've kind of phased through the existing forest and undergrowth and stuff like that to put this garden in. So at the moment, I'm bordering things with natural rocks from my property. Got a lot of rocks here, I just consider those to be resources. And then on the walkways in between, we're using some free mulch we get from a local place about a half-hour away. Mulching the walkways, and then on the inside, I'm building things up. Now this one's done for the year, so I'm going to show you kind of how I prepare for winter, and in doing so also prepare for the spring. If you look around in my garden, you'll notice a couple things. One, we didn't get to all the green beans that we were growing here. We definitely ate some, we definitely enjoyed them, but the ones that we didn't get to, we could either compost or we could use as animal feed. Since I've got some sheep and goats nearby that you'll probably hear, I'm going to use anything that's green like this for the animals. I'm going to have a bunch of dried ones too. I wanted to let a lot go to seed. We're going to save some for dried beans, and then as well save some for our next year planting. So I'm able to harvest the seeds and use them in soups, use them for, just rehydrate them, use them as different types of beans and food. And then the husks, of course, can also get added back to the compost. I got a bucket of those I'm starting already. And then when I get everything removed from here, it's going to be used for animal feed, for seeds for next year. Some of it's still food for us, and then we're going to use some for compost as well. But once I get the whole thing cleared, I'm going to add down a nice healthy layer of my rabbit manure, which is a nice cold manure. It won't burn the plants. It'll have all winter to sit here and kind of soak down and break down, build up the soil for next year. And once I get that done, I'm going to cover the thing in straw. I'm just going to take a nice layer, keep it covered, a couple things kind of keep the seeds of different weeds that may come in the area, keep them away from it, and then also kind of just have something there to retain the moisture, retain the nutrients, and be a cover for it. Then in spring, I can pull back that straw, and I'll have some excellent soil to be planting in next year. So that's my project today, and I'll probably finish it up tomorrow or the next day because I don't have any straw on hand, but I'll show you this from beginning to end and just let you watch what I do. All right, let's get started. Well guys, this is pretty cool. Look what I found hiding down in the soil. It's a tiny little brown skink. Check this out. This is going to be the stuff for the compost. All this green stuff here, real simple and easy. These are just the green pods, the vines, the leaves, stuff like that. I'll tell you what, these guys aren't exactly too picky, and they're right here. So what I'll do is I'll let them go and see what they can do. They can eat up all that for me and turn it into manure. Right there guys, there's the pile. Check it out, King. Yeah, just nibbling at it. Here comes some of the Jacob sheep. Beautiful creatures. And then these seeds are not only going to be, food and seed for next year. When I break them open, their husks will be for the compost as well. So I'm gonna get back to work. I'll be with you guys in a minute. Part of the cool thing about having little helpers too is you can see I was planning to do this by myself, but the kids came over to see what I was up to, asked if they could help, and now they'll do that for me while I finish up the other stuff. Works out great. We grow together and we go together, and I couldn't think of anything clever to say. Anyway, they have an active role in all this, and it makes them appreciate the food more. You can open cans of green beans from the store, get that sloppy stuff, slap it down on a plate in front of them, they're like, "Ugh, what is this?" But when they save the seeds, plant the seeds, weed the garden, harvest the garden, help us, pickle them or can them or, preserve them, then when you put it down in front of them, they have a connection to their food and they really appreciate it, which takes things to a whole different level too. So, my little helpers. So now the bed is cleared and it's ready for the manure. We've given everything that was green or really edible over to the sheep and goats. We've got all of our seeds out of there, and this year I was really just trying to grow some pinto beans as a starter to get some going. There's also some pole beans mixed in here. I'll sort them out later, figure out who's good, who we want to save for seeds, who we want to eat, and what's garbage so we can put in the compost or feed to the chickens. And but I just wanted to get going so that I have fresh seeds that I'd grown this year to plant next year and plant a larger variety. So one thing I like about that is you start out with a handful of seeds, you can wind up with a bucket of seeds or part of a bucket. And then you can just kind of keep planting more and more each year. This is going to head over to the compost. So here's my compost. I'll make a more permanent one eventually, but right now I just got pallets with some roofing metal, and we'll put this in. Oh, packed it in there pretty good. But I'll give that a turn later, and what we do is while we're working on one, we kind of let the other one sit and cook down. Obviously leaves have fallen in it, but this will be ready to go. So with the rabbit manure, we'll be adding some compost to some of those beds as the year goes on and as we wait for spring. So now at this point, I've got it pretty much ready for winter. It's covered. I actually ran to town today. If you can tell, it's actually kind of snowing. It was sleeting before, now it's snowing. So I got a nice layer of rabbit manure on top of the nice, rich, organic, amended soil that I had. A lot of compost in there, a lot of other stuff. So now I've got a layer of rabbit manure down. I've got the straw on top. That'll keep it covered for the winter. In the spring, I can just pull this back and put my plants in it, or I can kind of pull it up, put my seeds down, throw it back down, whatever I want to do. This will keep it protected from the winter, and that rabbit manure has got the next couple months to kind of break down and enrich the soil as well. Be ready to go in the spring. The rest of this will be cleaned out as well. Got a lot to do. This one's about ready. Maybe I'll hit him next. But just trying to get it all prepared and ready so that way in the spring I'm ready to go. And so we use everything else that the garden's produced. Every bit of this plant can be chipper shredded, all these different ones. Some of them I can still use, the other ones can be composted, some can be fed to the animals, and we'll be ready to go. But I can't wait to start out kind of fresh with a bunch of beds ready to go, because I did not do that this year. Everything I produced in my garden was kind of built step by step since this spring. Kind of put one together and plant it and move on to the next, and then find some more rocks, fill it up with some more compost, plant some more seed, and continue from there. So I can't wait to kind of have an established garden for years to come, and we're moving forward to that. A lot of the woods you see back behind me here, this will all be transitioned, hopefully, Lord willing, to a bunch of garden too, and everything behind me this way. So looking forward to it, doing well. Definitely right in time. I mean, I just got the rest of the plants in the house, the rest of the garden harvest in, and it's been freezing, and now it's actually snowing here in the Ozarks too. So all right guys, Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.